Hey, yo, Roscoe,
Yo,
I know we hadn't talked about it at all, but a hip hop pioneer died on December 23rd. I know we're kind of late getting to this particular topic, but John Ecstasy Fletcher from the hip hop group Houdini died back on December 23rd. And I know when we were growing up, we would listen to Houdini records, if you recall. But I
I
wanted
do.
I wanted to know, were there any songs by the group that stood out to you over the years?
Yeah, I was a big fan of the Freaks Come Out at Night. You know, me being a big freak, well, but besides that one, one that really hits home though is the song Friends.
Interesting that you would bring that up because I like the song Friends and the message that it carries. And I just want to go over the lyrics. But it says, Friends, how many of us have them? And I'll just read the rest because I ain't trying to get no copyright strike. But it says ones we can depend on. Friends. How many of us have them? Friends. Before we go any further, let's be friends. And Ecstasy starts off the verse by saying, in a word we use every day, most of the time we use it in the wrong way. Now you can look up the word again and again, but the dictionary doesn't know the meaning of friends. And if you ask me, you know, I couldn't be much help because a friend is somebody you judge for yourself. Some are okay and they treat you real cool, but some mistake kindness for being a fool. I bring that up because something happened in the world of social media over the past week. The very popular comedian Corey Holcomb, who hosts the 5150 show every Tuesday on YouTube, he did something. He violated at least a decades long friendship from a couple of people. You want to go in on this topic?
And let's put a bullseye on it and do it.
Let's do it. All right, so anyway, this past Tuesday on the 5150 show, which I've been a fan of for many, many years. I'm representing the 5150 brand because I've supported the show countless Tuesday nights for years and years. And something disheartening and very disturbing happened. But before I go into it, I want to get your take on what you saw from the show.
Oh yeah, like you said, some very disheartening stuff. When you showed me the video at first, I was not surprised by Corey's behavior. Over the years, I'm somebody who's I've watched a lot of stuff with Corey in it, whether it be interviews or his stand up, and he's had his funny moments in those years, but me personally, I've always kind of watched him with a side eye, only because I've always seen like this demon that was finally exposed on this show that we're discussing right now. But this dude, he really jumped out of the box on his crew on this particular show. Starting with his guy Grady, and that whole situation where I'm guessing there was a situation where Grady he I don't know if it was over the radio. I'm guessing it was over the radio that he says that he didn't cheat on his wife. Where Corey, he feels the need to expose this guy over the air in front of everybody and say that that he's lying, which whether or not the dude was lying is beyond the point. The fact that he would expose his friend, for one, do it on air for two, is a whole nother thing, which really doesn't speak to friendship at all. But then you got Darlene and that whole situation. In that situation, she's been riding with this guy and been a part of his show for like a long while. I'm not somebody who has been like a avid viewer of the show or anything like that. I'll always kind of either peek in, catch some stuff, or somebody will share it with me or whatever. But I know that she's been a part of, this platform for a while, and has been riding with this guy, supporting this guy. I'm sure they shared a lot of, laughs, drinks, just a lot of moments together, good moments, I'm assuming. And, you get to this point where he's kind of, badgering her, but Lord knows what the hell, you know what I mean? Like it just seemed like he was kind of rambling at some point when it came to that whole situation between him and her. But then the cherry on top of all of this shit is his interaction with his man Zoe. And that's where I really it just really sent me up, because this guy Zoe, and he seems like a good dude. He's somebody that I've seen him on other stuff. I know he has a platform where I think you were the guy who exposed me to the show with him and Young Pharaoh, and so I know that they were coming back to this, that Corey was discussing an issue that Pharaoh and Reza Islam had on the show, and basically saying how this guy was like playing, was kind of straddling the fence or whatever the case was, and not riding for his guy Young Pharaoh. But he just goes in on this dude, and he really exposes that all this interaction that they've had all over these years. And this guy Zoe has been thinking that this is my man's and I'm supporting my guy and all this stuff, and probably showing genuine love to this dude. And this dude goes and says some shit to the degree of I really don't even fuck with you like that. Like if it wasn't for your intellect, I wouldn't even be dealing with you.
Oh, who the fuck this fuck nigga is? And I just came with another one with the gangbanger shit.
But all I said was, why black men gotta do this shit?
Want me to tell you why? Because motherfuckers be hoes. They only play on the weak.
All I said
is niggas out here, their whole resume is fighting motherfuckers that ain't shit.
Okay.
That's their whole resume.
Wow.
And they claim motherfucking to be somebody who bout something. But I see differently. Don't make me hate you. I'm just saying. So if I'm a hypocrite motherfucker, I be down, goddammit. I don't fuck with hypocrites. You the only motherfucking weak link I got, nigga. Trust me. I don't even fuck with niggas like you. It's just I keep you around because you got knowledge, nigga. But I don't have no weak niggas around me, no niggas who get mad and be ready to fight everybody because something is said they don't like.
Mm-hmm.
That's bitch behavior. Bitches fight and shit because they don't like them.
Or something to that degree. But, to say something like that to a guy who, this guy is considering you to be a friend, and, to hear that is like, that takes something out of you. You know what I mean? And I've been a person personally who's been in a situation like that. you know. And I know I'm talking for a long time, but I'm this is a passionate like story for me, because I've been through this. I've dealt with, you know, people who you can put a lot of energy into. You actually show genuine affection for, love even, and these people will backstab you with no regard, you know. And that's what Corey was doing with this. And so I just felt it was you know, you get guys like this, and I've seen them a lot, you know, guys who think they sharks in this world and think they can bully people and run over people. And these are the fuckers that I've always despised. I've always had an issue with these kind of dudes and always wanted to scream on them every single chance I get. And that's why we're doing this now, because what Corey did was beyond bogus. It was total BS. It was really, to call it for what it is bitch shit. Because you think you could, or you assume that you could roll over somebody or have the power to, and just, you know, to just do it just because you feel that way is, yeah, that's punk to me. But I'm sorry for rambling, bro. You can go ahead.
No, it's all good. No, I just wanted to piggyback off of the song Friends by Houdini and transition that even to this other song called Friends by the Carters, Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Right.
But she brings up in her part of the song how she says, my friends, real friends, better than your friends. That's how we keep popping out that Benz. Yeah, no foes, real friends. We ain't even got to pretend. Yeah, get bands, that bands, spend it on all my friends. She goes on to say, I don't know what I would do without all of my crew. Yeah, I ain't making no room. Yeah, I ain't making no new friends. Don't make no moves, yeah, without telling my crew. Yeah, and she goes on, and I'll have the lyrics posted in the description and on the screen. However, she makes some very poignant points when she's saying these lyrics, because she goes on to say that they're real friends, they're not foes. You can't be friends. Like in life, you'll only have maybe a handful of really true friends over the course of your life. Like you may get a few early on, some in the middle, some towards the end of your life, the wisdom that's acquired. But when she goes on to say she ain't making no new friends, that means the people she been riding with, you know, whether they're imperfect or not, that's who's been there. And so I think about this situation with Corey and his friends, or I should say friends, because apparently, according to what he said, he never viewed them that way. To me, Corey is the epitome of what a toxic male is. That's toxic masculinity. He goes in on his friend D and falsely accuses her of promoting other people's products over that of the 5150 show. But there are countless times in the past where Darlene has worn 5150 product. She's modeled them for Corey. She's put up help with the app. She's done countless things to promote the 5150 product. There was even a time where people were sending in gifts, and Corey told her, you know, put the people's name out there who's supporting the 5150 product. And she did it with no hesitation. Like, she does a lot for that show that she probably doesn't have to. Even during weeks where no one would show up for the 5150 show, Dee was there, and she was very diligent. She participated. It was one of those situations where you knew she was a rider. Now, I don't know what goes on off screen, but I can tell you that the energy I felt over the last few weeks as Corey continued to go in on Grady was rubbing me the wrong way. I couldn't even finish the episode, and I watch this show every week faithfully. If I don't watch it the night of, I make sure I watch it the very next day. Even if I don't watch the live, I'll at least tune in for about 20 minutes of the live so that he can get his numbers up. That's how I roll with the show. But seeing what he did, And I'm going to go into the Zoe Williams part of the show, but I want to pass it back to you, Roscoe, and get your take if you have anything else to say.
I mean, there's so much to say on it, but yeah, you said it. I mean, this is just no way that you want to, that you would express loyalty, because this is total. This was dishonorable. This was a lack of loyalty. This was, this broke a lot of trust, and I'm sure like this was a big turning point for I think for Zoe in particular. You know what I mean? Like,
Agreed.
I don't know if this situation could be bridged back. Like, I'm very interested to see like the comeback after this. You know what I mean? And because this is not to say that there's no way to come back from these things, because friends could have issues with each other. You know what I mean? Like me and you, when we were younger, we've had issues. We've actually fought before. You know what I mean? But we were able to come back from this because as friends, we just talked it out.
Right.
that was like we didn't want to not be involved with each other. We just had to get our issue out the way. And that's all it was. And we was aware enough, even as kids, to say, all right, we just need to get that energy out the way, get past that, and we good. So as friends, I would this could have been handled differently if that's what Corey was at any point in this relationship with any of these people. But he could have just came to them if he had an issue, because that's what you would do as a friend. Like, I've had issues with friends over the years numerous of times, and I just come to them with my issue. That's what I do. I don't have an issue like expressing myself with people, so I just come to them and I'm like, hey, the energy seemed crazy between me and you. I'm just trying to see what's up. So it's ways to deal with these things, but he just dealt with this crazy. But you can continue, bro.
I agree. What's interesting is I went on the Corey Holcomb fan page on Instagram. There was a couple of things that stood out to me from supporters of the show. And this is how you know that there's been a true paradigm shift where it comes to the 5150 show. One person named Crazeg076 says, what happened on that last show, that shit was hard to watch. You got to do better, my man. Don't lose your people and your fans over some petty stuff like that. William Farmer 86 says, make what you did right on the next 5150 show. Make it right with Darlene, and you better damn sure make it right with Zoe. You worried about trust of the team, but it looks like they can't trust you. I'm 5150 all day, and all of that y'all, and all of y'all make what makes 5150. And so I won't do too many, but it goes on and on and on with people who were fans of the show. And so my takeaway from this is with the Zoe Williams argument on the show, because you can tell Zoe was trying to keep from going to that next level. And this harkens back to one of our previous shows about ego, elimination of great opportunities. I can speculate that what started this was Corey's ego when it came to Grady saying he never cheated on his wife. And it may be, and this is all speculation on my part, I'm not saying anything. I don't want to be held legally responsible for what I'm saying as defamatory. However, I know Corey has been going through some things in his personal life with his ex-wife, and maybe he felt like, it kind of goes back to when Kobe got caught cheating, and he was like, well, Shaq do it, well, Corey, he got caught cheating. He's trying to sit up here and make it seem like his boy Grady does it too. You know, a lot of times when people get caught with their hand in the cookie jar, they want somebody else to get caught with their hand in the cookie jar as well. So it's to like offset some of the guilt that go and the shame that goes along with that stigma of being a cheater.
Yeah.
Going forward, I don't know if he can make things right with Zoe. When he was asking Zoe at the end of the show if he wanted to promote anything, you can see the look on Zoe's face that he just had checked out.
My intentions, that's what I stand on. Anybody want to promote something? Zoe? You ain't got no, you don't want to promote nothing now.
I want to promote
Ain't got
love.
nothing to promote.
Corey wanted to go to blows with a friend of his who he claimed he was riding for. I've watched this show countless times. Corey is on the record as praising Zoe numerous times. You don't praise somebody like that and then get to a point where you say you only had them around. First of all, he had the nerve to say he was the weakest link. Then he had the nerve to say he only kept him around because of his knowledge. So at no point you didn't see that, okay, oh, he's a flawed human, but at least he's being genuine and upfront with you. That's unacceptable when it comes down to friends.
Yeah, I mean, who's to say that dude is flawed anyway? You know, he's flawed in Corey's eyes, maybe. You know what I mean? Because he doesn't react to things how he would. You know what I mean? And so, when you were talking about like, you know, like how Corey, he's been through his divorce and he's more than likely been through some other things that have hurt him. You know, like we all have, and you know, we take these experiences, and unfortunately, some of these bad things shape and mold us and turn us into, you know, monsters in some regards. But yeah, you don't take the opportunity, like when you were saying when you were talking about this weakest link thing. You know, like we know that in everybody's crowds, their personal social circles, if you will, that there's basically a dichotomy and a breakdown in the circle of, you know, a top and a bottom. But even the guy who, you know, and I've been a guy who's been in the top of these circles, and just as a leader is a person who would embrace everybody, especially somebody who is looked at or perceived as the lowest person on the totem pole. Those are the people that you embrace, and you do it with honor and with a real care and respect for this person as a person. You know, and not look down on them because you think that this person is weaker than me. This you know, that you know, and this is something that you see a lot of on a street level. You see it a lot of predatory behavior. You know, a lot of guys who see weakness, who smell blood and want to just go after these type of dudes. And that's what Corey was doing in this situation right here. It's like he was trying to confront this dude and fight the dude on air and all this. And Zoe didn't want that smoke. Zoe ain't built like that, and that's okay. That's fine. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing that's being, you know, when we look at, and I'm glad that people in the comments were reacting and defending Zoe and the fact that he was being mature in this situation and didn't, whether or not he wanted to smoke, because he probably didn't want to smoke. But at the same time, even if he did, he reacted in a way that was mature, and you know, he dealt with the situation the right way. I'm glad for him, and I only hope the best things for him. But Corey, man, dude, you know, get better, dude. You know, because you really, you know, and we want to, I know that my man Apocalypto has been a huge supporter of this dude, and I've supported this dude on some level throughout the years, and just wanting to see him come up, you know what I mean? Not only as a fellow Chicagoan, but somebody who's just as a man, a black man, and especially like I want to see you do good. I want to see you be big out here. And when you're doing this kind of stuff and acting this kind of way and alienating yourself from people, because everybody needs somebody, no, I mean, I don't care how self-contained you think you are, or self-sufficient or independent you think you are. Every single person out here needs somebody. So make this right, dude. Yeah, that's what I would say to Corey.
I agree. On that note, there's so much more I can say, but I think we're beating this dead cow to a pulp.
Yeah.
And with that, I just want to say to make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification so that you can get the notifications when they do come out. On our way out, I just want to give a shout out to our friend, Sean Calhoun. He was a real friend, a true ride or die homie. He's also the third member of the Warheads. Warheads out.